Fox 61, Connecticut's news station, starts with a weather impact alert.
A weather impact alert tonight. It's going to be cold. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. The overnight snowstorm left a wintry sight all across the state. This is on the Farmington River here in Avon. That's a gorgeous shot where the river flows along some ice.
That's a postcard right there. The ice isn't expected to melt anytime soon either.
Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank for a first look at the forecast. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, yeah, widespread cold, and not just for us, but for so many in the country. This is going to mean high heating demands for a lot of people. We're looking at temperatures that are about 20 degrees below average, and even a potentially historic snow and ice storm in the south. Not for us. We are just dealing with the cold. So a weather impact alert for much of this work week with temperatures that will be dropping back near zero. That's not even the wind chill, but actual temperatures. So we wanted to make sure that we issued this alert just to let you know, because you might need to change your plans as we head through this week to accommodate for things. Temperatures right now, right around 3 degrees in Torrington, 17 in Hartford, and close to the same for the New Haven area. The wind isn't too bad, but when you get just a little bit of a breeze, it can take a temperature of 17 and 18 and make the wind chill feel like 4 below zero. So that'll be the case off and on as we head through the coming days. But look at these low temperatures, just 3 degrees in Windham as we head towards daybreak tomorrow, 8 in Meriden. You can see the National Weather Service forecast numbers updating here on the fly to adjust for those conditions outside, which are getting ever so much colder. And for some areas, it could be the coldest morning that we've seen in a couple of years, but certainly not record-breaking. Heading through the day tomorrow, if you thought today was chilly, it'll be about 5 degrees cooler tomorrow. We're looking at highs in the lower 20s for Branford, for Middletown, near 20 degrees tomorrow in Ledyard, 19. We don't make it out of the teens in Mansfield tomorrow, and a high temperature of just 21 in Avon. We still maintain with the cold for Wednesday and Thursday. We'll talk about a rebound eventually. Full forecast coming up in just a bit.
All right, Rachel, thank you. Well, 2 people from New Britain were arrested by Newington police over the weekend in relation to a kidnapping incident that dated back to October.
Fox 61's Kayla Cade has more details on this strange but concerning case for police.
Police say the woman was being held against her will for 2 days by Amanda DiTomaso and Tyrone Graham. The victim was taken to this Stop and Shop in Newington last October, where police say she was forced to withdraw money until she was able to alert an employee about the situation. Inside the Stop and Shop on Finn Road in Newington, people are grocery shopping and employees are there doing their jobs. They're trained to help customers find items or make returns, but on October 28th, one employee did a lot more than her job description. She called the Newington police to request a wellness check for a woman who told her something she never expected.
The victim actually told the employee that she was there against her will and that people were trying to make her secure the wire transfer against her will.
Police say 37-year-old Amanda DiTomaso and 41-year-old Tyrone Graham were holding the woman captive. Officers arrived at the grocery store where they determined the victim actually knew both suspects.
It was not a random incident, but parties that were known from previous drug transactions had, through coercion and fear, kept her against her will.
Sergeant Matthew D'Esposito says DiTomaso accompanied the victim at the store but left before police arrived. Stop and Shop spokesperson says the safety of their customers and associates is a top priority for them. They say, quote, Stop and Shop is thankful to local law enforcement for their swift response, and we are cooperating with the police in their investigation. We learned the victim was allegedly forced to stay at the Grandmore Motor Lodge in Newington for 2 days.
With the intention of having her either work for them or obtain cash to pay her way out.
DiTomaso and Graham were arrested Sunday on multiple charges, including kidnapping and conspiracy to commit kidnapping. Sergeant D'Esposito says it took them months to locate and secure arrest warrants because the pair didn't have a permanent address.
They happened to be located by neighboring agencies on the night of the 19th, at which point they were their custody was turned over to us, and we were able to process those arrest warrants.
DiTomaso is set to appear in the New Britain Superior Court on Tuesday. Graham's court appearance is scheduled for February 3rd. In Newington, Kayla Cade, Fox 61.
All right, Kayla, thank you. New at 10 tonight, New Haven police are searching for a suspect who shot and killed a delivery driver. It happened near Shepherd and Goodrich Streets just before 4 o'clock Sunday, and police say they found 26-year-old Ravatehak Koyata with a gunshot wound. He was taken to a hospital where he was pronounced dead. Police learned Koyata was a delivery driver for a Chinese food restaurant and was shot while making a delivery. Police also say his car was stolen. It was found a short time later unoccupied. If you have any information about what happened, give New Haven police a call.
And state police are investigating a death. A body was found by firefighters while they put out a fire at an apartment complex in Branford. A similar incident happened at the same apartment complex back in December, but police say there's no connection between those two fires. Well, tonight, the name of the victim isn't being released, but the building was on North Ivy Street. Fire crews got there around 2 p.m. today. Smoke was seen coming out from one of those units. Firefighters found that body after putting out the flames and during a search of those apartments. A historic day in America. President Donald Trump was sworn in for his second term as now 47th president of the United States.
And the president wasted little time taking action, signing dozens of executive orders, many of which he had talked about on the campaign trail. Among some of the many orders signed into effect, an order rolling back numerous policies put into place by his predecessor, President Joe Biden. A new order was signed declaring a national emergency at the southern border. The president also signed an order regarding birthright citizenship, which is a topic that is expected to be met with heavy opposition.
And TikTok's been on everyone's minds the last couple days. The president signed an executive order to begin tackling the federal law that would ban it and other Chinese-owned apps. He also issued hundreds of pardons for those criminally charged on the January 6th insurrection in 2021.
These are just some of the orders signed tonight. Check out Fox61.com and the Fox 61 app for much more from the president and today's inauguration.
Yeah, all this happened in just a matter of hours. Certainly a busy day for President Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, and the U.S.
Now, Larry Miller from our sister station in Washington, D.C. has a wrap-up from the presidential inauguration.
The Arctic blast from Siberia that's moved through the Washington metro forced the swearing-in ceremony for now President Trump from outside to inside of the Capitol Rotunda. President Trump becomes now just the second president in U.S. history, along with Grover Cleveland, to serve 2 non-consecutive terms in the White House.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
Once again, Donald J. Trump placed his hand on the Bible, solemnly swearing to faithfully execute the office of President of the United States, and that he
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
And with that, the 47th president was introduced to deliver his inaugural address. But unlike his last speech where he said,
"This American carnage stops right here and stops right now."
This time, the 47th president called for a revolution of common sense, telling Americans that the golden age of America begins right now, and what the focus of his administration's agenda will be.
During every single day of the Trump administration, I will very simply put America first. The vicious, violent, and unfair weaponization of the Justice Department and our government will end. And our top priority will be to create a nation that is proud, prosperous, and free. America's decline is over. Our liberties and our nation's glorious destiny will no longer be denied. For American citizens, January 20th, 2025 is Liberation Day. Today, I will sign a series of historic executive orders. First, I will declare a national emergency at our southern border. All illegal entry will immediately be halted, and we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came. Today, I will also declare a national energy emergency. We will drill, baby, drill. Today, we will end the Green New Deal, and we will revoke the electric vehicle mandate. Instead of taxing our citizens to enrich other countries, we will tariff and tax foreign countries, and we are going to bring law and order back to our cities. There are only two genders, male and female. China is operating the Panama Canal, and we didn't give it to China. We gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back.
As Trump said in his inaugural speech, the American people have spoken, giving him a second chance to defend, preserve, and protect the Constitution and democracy of these United States.
President Trump will sign an executive order ending birthright citizenship as required under the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. In Washington, I'm Larry Miller.
All right, and as we said, just after his swearing-in ceremony, the president signed a number of executive orders to mark the beginning of his second term.
Fox 61's Emma Wolfhorst has more on how Connecticut's federal lawmakers and attorney general are responding.
Both Senators Murphy and Blumenthal and Attorney General Tong felt the orders Trump discussed, immigration, gender, renaming the Gulf of Mexico, are a distraction. They tell me this inauguration was, quote, the billionaire takeover of government and potentially the destruction of democracy.
The golden age of America begins right now.
An inauguration speech which many described as more of a State of the Union.
We will be the envy of every nation, and we will not allow ourselves to be taken advantage of any longer.
Now president for the second time, Donald Trump took office Monday, laying out the plan he promised throughout his campaign.
I will sign a series of historic executive orders. With these actions, we will begin the complete restoration of America and the revolution of common sense.
What President Trump calls common sense, Connecticut's elected leaders call chaos.
I was really hoping for a unifying message. Instead, it was replete with grievances and grandiosity, playing to cultural and political divisions.
This is a classic demagogue whose entire political identity is based around making us scared of things.
The 45th and now 47th president kickstarted his second term with a flurry of executive orders. Connecticut Attorney General William Tong says his team is working around the clock, ready to respond.
We're not just preparing, we're mobilizing now, real time. We're going to stay on offense on all these issues.
President Trump did lay out top executive order priorities in his inaugural address Monday, like immigration.
I will declare a national emergency at our southern border.
Connecticut senators, though, say many of these orders will require support from Congress, which, with such tight margins, also means bipartisan backing.
He needs additional authority. A number of them, he needs additional resources. Both of those levers are clearly within the hands of Congress.
I have heard from a lot of families and a lot of people, and they're scared, and they have a right to be scared. And if the whole point of this, in part, is to stoke fear, they are succeeding. When appropriate and when my voice will help, I will speak, and I will speak loudly and forcefully to try to help people that are impacted.
And all three told me they're monitoring what executive orders President Trump will sign in the coming days and feel prepared to block any they say will negatively impact the people of Connecticut. In the studio, Emma Wolfhorst, Fox 61.